Hello everyone, Sebastian Westering here with the National Weather Service in San Diego. I'm going to give a brief overview on the weather for the next week. So a few things here to talk about is unfortunately we have a return of significant heat to Southern California and much of the western United States. For those who live on the coast all the way up to I-15, expect to see patchy morning fog, and we'll look into the forecast, the longer range forecast from 6 days out to 14 days, and it appears that the Climate Prediction Center is thinking that hot weather is going to persist until at least the middle of October. So if we look at a broader view of the US right now, we can see that there's a lot more going on than there was at the same time last week. We see here that in the mid-Atlantic area that they're still dealing with flooding concerns from the effects of Hurricane Helene a few days ago. If we look at the upper Midwest and the upper Great Plains, we see a lot of red flag warnings along with freeze warnings. This is from a trough, an upper level trough that's digging into the northern US and bringing aloft cold air, but then also at the surface cold and dry gusty winds, which is prompting the red flag warnings and the freeze warnings. Freeze warnings coming from the colder temperatures. Now, if we go and look at California specifically, we see that the entire Central Valley is under a heat advisory. For our region specifically, we have a heat advisory for inland areas, mountain areas, and we have excessive heat warnings for our low deserts. Now, for those of you who were commuting along I-15 this morning in San Diego County or anywhere west of that, you probably encountered a lot of dense fog this morning. Here we can see in this view facing south from Escondido that the valleys were pretty soaked in with the dense fog, and we're expecting to see a continuation of the dense fog through tomorrow morning and potentially Wednesday morning, although likely impacting even lower elevations all the way to the immediate coast. Here we get another view of the fog seeping into the San Diego valleys, and then here from early this morning from UC San Diego, we see that the dense fog made it all the way to elevations of 400 feet and lower. And tomorrow we expect to see that dense fog reach even lower than it did this morning. So here's a view of some of the high temperature projections for tomorrow. We see that already we're seeing an increase in significant heat. For the inland valleys of San Diego, we see temperatures in the upper 90s reaching all the way up to 100 in Ramona. We see for the Inland Empire temperatures in the low 100s reaching up to 104 in Lake Elsinore, and then for areas in the Coachella Valley and the San Diego deserts, we have temperatures all the way up and above 110. Here are the forecasted high temperatures for Wednesday, where we expect peak heat in the Inland Empire as well as the San Diego valleys. We can expect temperatures in those regions to be at least in the upper 90s, all the way up to 106 degrees at Lake Elsinore. Now for the coast, we will mainly see temperatures in the mid to upper 80s with locally cooler temperatures in and around San Diego at 81 degrees, San Ysidro at 83 degrees, and for the beach we expect temperatures to remain in the mid to upper 70s. For the lower deserts, we expect temperatures to still be very hot with temperatures up to 112 degrees in Palm Springs. We expect temperatures to remain very hot through the rest of the week into the weekend, where we could potentially see record-breaking daily temperatures in areas below 6,000 feet of the mountains as well as the low desert. Here I have a chart of Palm Springs normal temperature range, where we normally would have an average high of 95 degrees this time of year, although the forecasted high for Friday is 112, which would beat the daily record max of 109 for that day. Unfortunately, it appears that we're going to continue to have well above average temperatures until at least the middle of October. The Climate Prediction Center is thinking that we're going to have high probabilities of above average temperatures for the entire West, not only for the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, but also for the 8 to 14 day outlook. If you would like a more detailed weather report or forecast for a specific location, make sure to check our forecast on weather.gov and to follow us on social media.